Yes, I'm here at the Artnode Foundation on Skeppsholmen in Stockholm, and with me I have Jårg Geismar, German artist, born in Sweden however, who has been here in Stockholm to and fro during almost a year now, since late '97, and has been involved with several shows here in Sweden, a show in Gothenburg, a show here in Stockholm that was part of the cultural capital, another show at an institution in Stockholm called Fylkingen that works a lot with music and new media. And during this period, Jårg has had a stipend from an organization where I work called IASPIS, International Artist Studio Program in Sweden. It's based in the old Art Academy in central Stockholm, and it's meant to create a dialogue between international artists and the Swedish art scene. And Jårg has been very much part of this during the last year, as I said, and has been working with a project that has been growing more and more, and I've followed it during a couple of months. And maybe, Jårg, you could tell us a little about this project that you've been working here in Stockholm.
Yes, like being a guest at IASPIS, I was mainly walking around in the city in Stockholm and also living at IASPIS and Torkan. And it occurred to me that after several months that I wanted to work with this idea of IASPIS also, which is like what you just said, the exchange of international people with Swedish. And I developed a project which has a title, It's a Wonderful World. It's still running, and I hope to finish it next year. And the idea is that I'm filming and inviting foreign people who are born outside of Sweden but live and work in Stockholm to IASPIS. And I film these people, I make photos of them, and later on this will be together like for an exhibition and also for a publication, and there will be different kind of things happening with the project. It's a very floating project, so it's kind of very interactive, and like I came to interactive projects in a very natural way, because when I was a very small child, I was sitting next to my aunt who was a telephonist, and like I was only like 2-3 years old, but I was seeing this like for years. I was always sitting there and she was connecting the people. Later then when I moved to Germany, I couldn't speak German, so I had to communicate with the people. So I was talking with my hands, and then I discovered that it's the same thing what my aunt was doing. So for me it was a very interesting process that mainly I could talk with my hands without talking and communicating. And then later on I thought, if I'm doing like this, maybe that is what I am. So I got very interested in communication, dialogue positions, and in the last years, mainly I'm very interested in the society, the people themselves.
And I know this project grew out of your very direct experience of Swedish society and of Stockholm, but you also once told me that it all started with one very specific event happening in the street.
Yes, this was was forcing it to really start doing it. I was interviewed by accident on the street, asked about Hjelmstemhed, I hope I pronounced it in the right way, and by this was a kind of speaker from Channel 4 television, and they were asking all people, and they also stopped me to ask me about this.
Maybe short, jämställdhet, meaning
correct,
equal rights, or what should one translate that?
Yeah. So I didn't understand it because she was talking very quick Swedish, and I said to her, "Can you please repeat it?" And then the person said, "It's okay, we will ask another person." And I felt that maybe like there is like Stockholm and also Sweden needs a very big tolerance, especially with the foreigners. So you must have time, and you must respect this situation. And I think this is a very important I would say, statement like internationally only. So.
And I mean, you have been living in several big cities. You've left Sweden at the moment. You're now in Düsseldorf, and during a long period you were in New York. I see this project also as a portrait of the city where you've been for a year. Is that correct?
True. That's true. Yes, I have a very, I would say, like where I live, it's a very big impact. So mainly, first I must be fascinated where I live and work, and like coming to Stockholm in '97, again after many years, I was very fascinated by this, I would say, by an energy inside also the city, which hasn't been eaten up. So that's for me very interesting, because like I left New York because I was really missing a dialogue. And the same thing is like in '97, I got also, after 3-4 years living in Germany, there was also kind of lack of dialogue. And then I came here and I saw a lot of dialogue.
So, I mean, the people you meet now, and I've only seen some of the photos and I know a little about the project, so are people from all layers of society, and from very top layer of the society to people you've met in the street, people working in cafeterias and so on. And to a certain extent, this whole project seems to deal with the concept of integration or of a dialogue in a city. And would you say that the situation in Stockholm has it been a positive surprise, or is your project positive or negative? What do you think that the portrait will be seen as a very optimistic or positive portrait of the city, or is it about problems?
I think it's a very optimistic way how to see a city. I don't want to say it's just that it's like a homage on Stockholm. I think it has a lot of humor. Mainly, I'm filming the people because I like them. I meet them sometimes the first time, and it's also for me like creating like a kind of sphere through this project, which will involve a lot of different people here in Stockholm. Like my interest to meet these people hopefully comes together with the interest of these people to meet other people, maybe to live a little bit different, because I think Stockholm is not using the quality of the foreigners.
So to a certain extent, maybe your project is not only how should I say, not only a representation of something that exists, but also an attempt to enhance the dialogue, also to be active. I mean, it's not just a mirror, it's something more.
It's a voice.
So it's one more voice in the dialogue, and hopefully...
Yes, like I would say, for example, it's very important that you see the whole project later. It's the same thing like, for example, when we are talking about a tree, you see a tree. You take the leaves away, you will see that the leaves are missing. But the same thing is with my project, like when you see the whole project, there's a process, what at the moment we only are involved in the process, but then later when you see the whole project, it will get another dimension, what it hasn't got yet now.
Historically, I mean, it's interesting that you actually have a background here in Sweden. Would you say that this project would have been possible, say, 10 or 20 years ago, or is this something that is very typical of our own times?
No, I think for me it was not possible before. I was always a little bit afraid coming back to Sweden. Like I am here every year, but for me it was because I was born here. I left like Sweden when I didn't want to leave, and now I'm coming back, but I want to come back.
And there I think we have to end this session. Thank you very much, Jårg, and we'll see how this develops. Thanks.
Okay. Bra.